I am doing my very first stream, which I say in parentheses because I've attempted to do this several times. But this one is going to be do or die, no matter what. So let's get into it. I'm here to recap the PlayStation 5 for Cyber Monday, in case you, unlike me, had a life. I, for whatever reason, have the luxury to keep an eye on what's going on with PlayStation 5 on a given day. So, what happened today on Cyber Monday? Well, in short, PlayStation Direct. A couple of other things happened, but PlayStation Direct is probably where most people got their consoles today. It's where most people had a chance of getting their consoles. But to kind of rewind for just a moment, we had 3 drops today from Adorama, from Anton Line, and from PlayStation Direct. After Black Friday, which was pretty crazy, I think a lot of people were excited and looking for. I think just hoping that Cyber Monday was going to be their failsafe for the fact that Black Friday did not go the way they wanted it to. I'm one of those people, just to be clear. I do not have a PlayStation 5 yet. I've been watching every day. I've bought a PlayStation 5 multiple times, and the orders have always gotten canceled. So everything I'm saying because I'm a person who is using that knowledge too. Obviously, like, I want to help other people get their consoles. That's what it's all about, just sharing the information, making sure people know. But just so you know, I'm not one of those dudes that gets to show their PS5 here and be like, fucking nailed it. Because I did not. I have nothing. There's nothing here. I have nothing. Anyways, so what happened today? We had Adorama, a retailer that honestly does not matter, drop at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As I think I have noticed, as many people who have done this, I'm guessing, would notice, anytime a retailer says the time it's going to go online, those, in my experience, have been the absolute hardest times to get a console. Don't know if that's because there's just more normal people who are able to participate, or because the bots are able to do more. I'm unsure, but I know personally it seems like the time real people cop the most consoles seems to be the ones that people don't see coming. So if you are not one of those people that has the luxury to sit and look at a Twitter stream all day, follow Plant Data Alerts. That's just going to be alerts, no memes or commentary, and it will just kind of tell you what's up. So, like we were saying, we had 3 drops today. Adorama was basically a bust. There's some conjecture on if it even actually went live, because no one's really even sure if they were able to buy anything. I was not, and the vast majority of people were not. Then Anton Line came online. Oh, imagine that. And Anton Line is, if you don't know about them, they're a small retailer. Their distributor is probably more appropriate because they don't have any physical brick and mortar stores, but they are probably the most engaged with the actual Twitter community. They're the only company I've seen that has actually reacted or had kind of a two-way communication to what the people looking for consoles did. So it's obviously real enough. The biggest caveat with them is they basically always launch at random times. I don't think they've ever announced a time. And then on top of that, on top of the fact that Anton Line never announces their times, it also only sells in bundles. So it's a little bit, if you have the luxury, if you're in a place where you think you can buy a bundle for a PS5, Anton Line, I think, probably has the best conversion rate to normal people. I don't know, I'm just kind of pulling that out of a hat, but in general, I've seen a lot of people saying their success in Anton Line. Small inventory, but it seems like a lot of it ends up going to actual people, which is awesome, because as we saw with Adorama this morning, I have no idea. Bots, I have no fucking clue what happened, but the main thing that did happen is that no normal person was ever going to get a PlayStation off of Adorama. It was not going to happen. So Ain't Online, fair amount of people had some success today. It's not like game changing. You have to be in it for like $800 for a bundle. I'm not one of those people because I'm a cheap motherfucker. But it was successful. But the most important thing that I want to talk about today, from both my experience and what to look for moving forward, is PlayStation Direct. Because PlayStation Direct, I think, just as far as like sheer numbers, they have the most inventory going to individual people, which is, if you're like me and you don't have a PlayStation yet, that matters a lot, because that's your ticket to hopefully ending this fucking shit show. So PlayStation Direct went live today around, I think it was about 3 p.m. We sort of knew it was coming up for the people that were following it in the community, because the PlayStation page does a pretty specific thing. And it's worth knowing, because there are a lot of times people in the community put out alerts to keep your eye on stuff, whatever the fuck it's going to be. And it's kind of a crapshoot on, like, oh my god, the amount of times Walmart has been like, yo, 3, 6, 9, 12, like, all bullshit, cap, don't trust fucking Walmart. You never really know when they're actually going to put stuff up. But PlayStation Direct, their website, when for whatever reason they're about to go live with actual consoles, the page itself, so if your page comes in here, if it's a normal page that there's no stock, it's going to automatically scroll to the bottom. You wouldn't really notice it. The only reason we know about it is because of Showtime Pro 4. Follow him. For the one person watching, I see you. Appreciate that. Feel free to follow him, because he's great. He's the first one that noticed the PlayStation change on the page when consoles are going to go live. So that's kind of cool. That's what we saw today. That's when a lot of people were flagging, myself included, saying like, hey, keep an eye on the PlayStation Direct page. It seems like things are going to go live. And lo and behold, we've been doing this for long enough at this point. That's a pretty consistent trigger that we're seeing. So PlayStation Direct went live, and then, as is normal, all hell broke loose. Everybody was trying to get in the Queue It system, and it was a whole fucking thing. So here's what you have to basically know about both today's drops and how those drops go. The system for getting into the queue is essentially the option to access the actual store, to buy whatever you want. So all that Queue It shit, it has nothing to do with if there's inventory in there, if you're going to get a PS5, any of that stuff. It is purely just deciding who gets to access the page in what order. So it's one of the systems that I think has generally been better for real people. If you're like me, though, and you try way too fucking hard, I've been burned over and over again. I've still, unfortunately, never seen it even drop to below more than an hour. Even though I've tried it literally a half dozen times and on multiple browsers and stuff. So I did a little bit of sleuthing and more following, and kind of like, what are the big takeaways for it? There's a lot of conjecture. I still don't have an answer. I went to the point that I fucking emailed Queue It. So I'm gonna guess they're probably not gonna be like, here's the secret sauce. This is how it works. Good luck getting your PS5. But we'll see. I've just heard a lot of back and forth on whether or not you should be clearing your cache and cookies, whether or not you shouldn't, because then that makes you look like a bot. I've seen it both ways, and I think personally the strategy I'm going to be trying is both. I saw, so if you follow Linus Wilson, he's one of the bigger dudes who are definitely putting out super good information about it. Pretty technical. He's an economics professor, so it makes sense, but good info that generally most of the people aren't reporting quite so critically, I guess. But he was reporting, which is what I'm going to try. Essentially, every browser creates a unique ID lottery ticket to getting into the queue. And then beyond that, an incognito, private, whatever the fuck you want to call it. We all know what it is. That will also create a unique ID. And then on top of that, I believe, well, I know for a fact, there's a difference between devices. Those count as unique IDs in their own way. I think, I know for me personally, I'm still a little unclear on like, does my Chrome on my phone catch the same as the Chrome on my computer? Do I need to be logged in differently? Still, personally, I have not gotten a solid answer on that. But from what I have gathered from watching a lot of people who are watching this, is that the more chances you have, the better. So you kind of just want to fucking shotgun your way into the queue, which means trying to get in from basically every browser and basically multiple browsers within the browser. So what I will be trying next time is I'll have my Chrome on my desktop. I'll have it on normal, where I'm not going to have my cookies and stuff cleared. And then I'm going to also access it on the private incognito browser there. Beyond that, I'm going to make sure I'm on my phone. For my phone, again, this is kind of what I alluded to earlier, I'm still just like not clear if there's overlap with your Chrome on your phone and blah blah blah. So I'm going to try and use Safari on my phone. I'm going to do the same strategy, but the idea is essentially I should have 4 independent wait times that are showing up. And I know from at least my experience today and a couple times I've gotten in the queue, I had 3 browsers in it today. I had a non-cleared cookie browser, I had a cleared incognito browser, and then I had my normal phone Chrome browser. And they seemed, as far as I could tell, to basically just be hitting an order. So, whether that means like I don't honestly know what it means, besides maybe it just goes on. I'm sure it has something to do with when they verify that they don't think I'm a bot, which part of me feels like they're convinced I'm a bot, because I just always get more than an hour. Always. I had like 3 browsers going at once, and everything's like more than an hour. I'm like, okay, why the fuck am I watching this all day if I can't even get in? Like, I thought I got in right as it started. No, apparently not. So, the biggest thing with them is essentially you want to find ways to create unique requests into the queue. Multiple tabs on the same browser does not work. Just rings up at the same thing. But a incognito or private or whatever you want to use it browser, fresh browser, and a normal browser are considered, even if they are the same app, they are considered 2 unique IDs. I, in the back of my head, am genuinely curious. I don't know. I haven't found anyone who has given any concrete answers on it, but how much of it is looking at your ISP and coming through, I would hope Qwit, being a pretty legitimate company, has a function built in that's keeping an eye on a bunch of stuff coming from roughly the same IP address. I mean, yeah, in theory, you could have fucking 12 dudes bunked in a giant college home sharing the same internet. It's obviously possible, and each of those devices are going to go different, but part of me wonders, is there not some functionality built in that's looking at the sort of source of your IP and saying, okay, well, it's fucking 30 people from this one IP is trying to buy a PlayStation, so fuck you. So I worry because, even though I'm using multiple browsers and using multiple devices and stuff, my experience was entirely on the same Wi-Fi. So, ultimately my IP, at least the beginning of it, is going to be the same. So at least for me, I know I'm gonna try the next time. I'm gonna take my phone off of Wi-Fi, see if, because that will, depending on how much my one beautiful viewer knows about IP addresses, is, you know, it's all connected to your Wi-Fi through the kind of routing of how you're doing everything. So if you're on your phone, if you're on your data, that's gonna be 100% a completely different pathway as far as Sony is considered. So I'm definitely gonna be trying that one next time, hopefully. But now we should probably talk about, what happens now, which might be the reason you're watching. Maybe no one's watching. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to keep doing these every day. So what do we have to look forward to? The sad answer is nothing concrete. The best concrete info we have, which, I mean, this tells you how concrete it is our boy Jake Randall, also a great one to follow. All these people, honestly, matter a lot more than me. They're the ones that inspired me to get into this. I'm just doing my best to aggregate a lot of what I hear. He has a plug in some way, shape, or form at the old Target, and he has a pretty convincing picture that suggests that they're getting in-store Target units on December 5th. So we don't know anything about those units as far as, like, what is their destiny. There's rumors that a bunch of other retailers that they have physical stock, but they're not allowed to sell them or put them online until, like, the new year. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that I think we as consumers don't think about, which is just these are ultimately companies. They're companies that are trying to run efficiently, avoid huge or fuck ups, and try and do everything with the maximum amount of profit for the smallest amount of money. I mean, that's how you stay in business. It's the nature of the beast, and there's nothing wrong with that for the most part if you're not, hurting anyone or causing damage to things. Personal view, but it's my view. But yeah, so supposedly Target is gonna have a drop on the 5th, they are going to get units in their physical stores on the 5th. Whether those physical units will be for sale, either in-store or online, we do not know. So anyone fucking sitting here trying to say Target is definitely happening or isn't happening or whatever, it's a lot of rumor. The most concrete thing we have, again, is a picture from a semi-famous Twitter user, right? Like, that's where we're at right now. Fuck. But, I'd like to think my stream is in its own way unique because I'm sitting here struggling with you, and I don't have a great PS5 to show off in the background. But yeah, so basically, this is what we actually know. The most concrete thing we have is that Target is going to get units on the 5th. Don't even know if they'll be for sale. What's important to remember about PlayStation Direct, I think I discussed it earlier. If not, no. The landing page and where your view of it lands sort of dictates what we see coming. As of this moment, my understanding, I'll double check. I should really figure out how to do it on the fucking stream. Next stream. If the landing page is landing on the top when you go to it, if you're looking at the top of the PS5 Direct page and it's showing PlayStations, then you fucking, like, shit's about to go down. That's when everyone gets all hypey. That's why everyone's sending out their alerts and shit. And as of right now, or as of before I started the stream, their thing was still ringing at the top. So myself, and I think a lot of other people in the community, are certainly it's like the diplomatic way to put it. We are anticipating a PS5 Direct drop again this week. What is the probability of that actually happening, of it being tomorrow? I don't think anyone really knows, but we're trying to keep an eye out. And as far as my experience, me as a consumer, like you, just trying to cop a PS5. That's where I think if I'm gonna get it, I'm probably gonna get it, because it seems to be the most consistent system for getting real people to buy a PlayStation. That system also consistently fucks over 95% of us. But, when you compare that to, like, what happened with Autorama, we're sitting there, like, the conjecture is, like, did it even actually go live? No, it didn't go live. Like, those are miles away as far as what a normal person's interaction with it would be. Adorama was, did I miss something? Is it already out of stock? What happened? PlayStation Direct is about an hour. And then you sit there over and over again. Yeah, no. I at least knew I wasn't getting a console when I got into PlayStation Direct. Whereas with Adorama, I was like, am I on the right page? Did I miss something? So, yeah, PlayStation Direct is what we're all probably going to need to keep our eyes on moving forward. Target, like I said, 12.5, something is happening, whether that means we can buy them or who knows what. I don't know. Other retailers that are worth keeping an eye on. So, Walmart, obviously been a big player. I'm probably going to say this every time I do the stream. As far as I have seen, when it comes to online sales, this is purely for online. I'm not talking in-store, because in-stores don't shit show. I'm going to talk about after this. Online, Walmart gives out a specific time they're going to go live. I don't think we have, at least in my knowledge, if someone's been following this, I don't think we've seen Walmart go live in an online sense that they have not announced. In store, that is a fucking metric dump truck of shit show, because they're getting unit. I mean, if you followed it, the very brief version is there were a bunch of units that showed up in store that they told nobody were going to be there. The fucking nerds like myself and many others found out they were there through a series of apps and things. If you would like to know, BrickSeek, BRICK, SEEK, BrickSeek, pretty standard. That is the one that a lot of people are using to basically march into Walmarts and be like, you have a fucking PS5 back there, and I want it. People had mixed success. But it did happen. I mean, they were in store. A lot of people copped in person, and that was a channel or a stream of getting units that nobody knew about. Nope, they didn't fucking announce it. There was no marketing. Literally, someone was just probably someone running bots. Let's be real. Just saw that all of a sudden these units were popping up online, and we're like, fuck. And then eventually, it made us to the filthy plebs, and we tried to scoop up what we could, and a lot of people did. I went to one store. They did not have any. And for most people, as far as my understanding of how it went, and this was kind of my experience, minus the success part, if you didn't ask a manager, you couldn't get one. Because all the base retail people either were told not to sell or do anything with them, or literally just didn't fucking know. So, I mean, like, every report we saw was like, oh, yeah, like, I waited in line with, like, 40 people, and it was a whole rush, and we weren't sure, it's a total shit show. Or, the other one being, didn't see anything, and they told me there wasn't anyone, and then I got a manager on the side, and did a little, like, hey, you know, something, got the PS5 in the back, bro? And then they apparently bring out a PS5. So, Walmart, all this to say, don't expect to cop an online Walmart unit if you are hoping to get one from online. And I mean online being that when you order it, it is delivered to your home, not that you are using an online transaction, because you can buy things online on Walmart and pick them up in stores, which is more of a, I think, what we would consider like an in-store buy, even though you are doing it on your phone. Which, brief sidebar, that's a good little hack if you're not someone that is in a super populated place, or they are saying, I tried it, the mechanism worked for me, the results did not, but you can scan the actual barcode of the PlayStation. So a bunch of people posted online. I literally, like, straight up, I scanned it off my screen right here, and it'll tell you if there are some in stock. And apparently some people managed to backdoor their way in. I you know, how or where, I'm not totally sure, but it was confirmed. It did happen in a couple places. I think the post that kind of went viral and spread it all was a guy who, like, went over to his neighbor's house and just, like, randomly scanned it and was like, what the fuck? But honestly, if you live in a more populated area, I think getting units that way is it's unlikely. But if you are in a place, I mean, first start with BrickSeek to see what it says, because if BrickSeek isn't showing shit, then you're probably not going to find it through the other ones. But, you know, if you're like me and you're just throwing shit at the wall, seeing what's going to stick, I mean, fucking scan some of the codes. You can find them all online. It's not hard if you just type Twitter, PS5, you know, Target, UPC. You want a UPC or barcode. Either of those will hopefully get you what you want. But that's what you're going to have to look for if you want to find it. You can scan it. You know, spoiler, 99% of you, which, let's hope it's 99%. Otherwise, my one viewer is going to be split into 100 pieces, and one piece is going to have a different experience than the other 99. But 99% of people are not going to find anything show up in their app. So I was like, oh, I'll do it for you, no problem. Nah, my dumbass figured out that my webcam that I bought to do this is kind of shitty, so I'm using my phone. That's a totally different side thing, but if anyone has a bunch of Mac products and is wondering how the fuck to set up a live stream, it's not easy, and I can show you. But back to PlayStation, because that's what we're here chatting about. The biggest thing with PlayStation, I hate to say it, and I say it not as one of those people, again, that's like, how much does it really matter to me? Because I already have my PlayStation. I don't fucking have my PlayStation. I play Ghost of Tsushima on the PS4 almost every day, and I tried to play it on a stream yesterday when I was testing, and it was bullshit. So I want that PS5. It's a real deal for me. The same way I assume it's a real deal for you. Because if you actually made it, if someone really watched my ass for fucking 29 minutes, like, fucking, wow. Thank you, single viewer. Appreciate it. Anyways, so, to sum up everything we talked about, today, 3 retailers dropped. Autorama, early morning Eastern Standard Time. It was basically a joke. And online, I'm on Pacific Standard Time, so I have to think about it in that regard. Like 3 p.m. PST, I think is about, or no, earlier is when Ant Online, they were all bundles, which is probably what it will be moving forward as well. So Ant Online is only really worth keeping an eye on if you want a bundle, or if you want accessories. They have accessory stuff too. They're one of the only places that has the Pulse 3D headset that stays up for more than 10 seconds. So it comes with a handful, again, bundles. Comes with, I think, like 3 months of PlayStation Now, and a year of PSN or some shit like that. But that's an option if you're desperate for a Pulse. I am a cheap asshole. So my concession in the war of PlayStation is that I'm willing to buy a disc console. Like that's the level of flexibility I have. I'm not gonna buy one of these fucking bundles that has Spider-Man and all that shit. Which if you want to do that, fucking go for it, man. I wish I was in a place where I could casually drop an extra $300 on it and it would be chill. But that extra $300 went into kind of doing this. So your boys, his hands are a little bit tired. But if you're willing to send out a little extra cash, or maybe you fucking want the bundle. My experience has been most people do not want the bundle, but if you're either do want it or you're willing to take it, Ant Online is a really good option. Follow the Twitter, turn on notifications, or you can follow Plant Dad Alerts, because I'm only gonna put when shit is live or when it's dead. My other account, Plant Dad Chris, will have all the bullshit of me like, oh, Sony fucked me over for the 12th time. But yeah, so we had those 3 drops today. Autorama, Ant Online, and of course the cursed or blessed child that is PlayStation Direct. I don't. Again, I'm putting the majority of my eggs in the PlayStation Direct basket, but I'm not putting all my eggs there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with all that noise. Unfortunately, if you're just wondering what's next, what should you keep an eye on, there's not a lot. PlayStation Direct for sure. Like we said earlier, when PlayStation is likely to go live, the landing page does a little thing where it's at the top. You'll see a bunch of people, myself included, kind of putting up the flag saying like, yo, keep an eye on this, as we are doing literally right now. Yo, keep an eye on it. We'll say, you know what, I'll just fucking do it right now. I'll do it from right here. What a shame. Okay, PlayStation. I know how to share this on the screen, but unfortunately I have not gotten the computer ready for random people to see my stuff, because it is my personal computer. So doing what I can, just a dude fucking bootstrapping his way through it, trying to share some knowledge. But let's see what happens when we go to PlayStation. And they yeah, okay, yeah. So I just went to the page. Obviously, they're both out of stock still, but landing page at the top. You know what? Why don't I just try and fucking wing it anyways? I guess I gotta make sure I don't have any of my personal info. Oh, see, like, had I gone to my Spotify there, which you couldn't have seen, had I gone there, would have been your boy's name. Okay, alright. So we're going to leave the music there, but I am going to do a quick screen capture. We're going to play around a little with this, so prepare yourself, one viewer on my stream, because you're about to see slightly more. if you're someone who wants to stream or likes streaming in some capacity, I'm using Streamlabs to do all this. I did pay some money because trying to do it for free was borderline unbearable. Yep, here I go. I'm shrinking. Whee! Okay. There I am in the bottom corner. And then we're going to do some, I'm going to try and show us the screen. Let's see how that goes. Thank you, one person who is probably not actually watching me, but that little one viewer was what kept me going for a half hour. So I appreciate you, whoever you are, even though it's almost guaranteed that you're not actively watching me. That's okay. Okay, here we go. Let's try this. Oh, beautiful. Wow. Check that stream out. Good stuff. Ooh. Okay, so I think now, in theory, should be able to go here. Yeah, and you should be able to see what I'm saying. So basically, what we're talking about is this is the landing page. So blah 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 blah. When you access it, see how it's at the top here. If I open an incognito window, let's see, we'll give it a. Oh, hey, there's the YouTube stream that we're doing right now, which is definitely not what you want. So if we look at this, whoop, what the fuck? Yo, that's weird. I don't know what that is. That's very confusing. Okay. Okay. So what I think is happening there is that was my incognito window. So useful for purely just demonstrating how you see how it went to the top of the page here, as opposed to what would have been, I think it usually loads like down here if there is an inventory coming. So, that's good that it's loading there. If you saw, it put me in queue, which is interesting. So this is going to be me completely speculating on how it works. And I think plays into something that I have been thinking about a lot, and I mentioned earlier in the stream, which is like, what role do cookies in your cache play? Like, should it be empty? Should it not be empty? So just looking at what happened there, that was my incognito browser. Obviously, there's no cookies or cache there. If you don't know, that's kind of the point of the private and incognito browser is it doesn't, every time you close your browser, it's essentially a new session. So that made me go through the Qt system to view their landing page here. Which means that, essentially when there isn't, even when people are not stalking the page or trying to make shit happen, the Qt system is running on it. So, I don't, again, this is kind of what I was alluding to earlier. I don't know how that translates to whether or not you need to redo your Qt CAPTCHA stuff. Like earlier today, I was basically identifying traffic lights and buses for like a full year, which took a while, but by the time I got through all of it, it was like more. I literally straight up. So sick. This is my sick skills. I had more than an hour the entire time today until they were out of stock. It sucked. Because people, I think if anyone tries to keep an eye on it or watch it, it's kind of like all social media. It's really easy to value the positives and easy to discount the negatives. Certain level of like confirmation bias there. But yeah, it seemed like a lot of people were getting it today. I obviously was not one of those people. I mean, yes, if you're watching this, you're probably not one of those people. But yeah, I don't know if if going to the site beforehand increases your likelihood of getting in, if it decreases it, I don't. It's like if you're Qit, because right, they're a third-party company, totally working on their own. You have to expect that a fair number, who knows how many, but a fair number of your users are going to be first time clickers or first time interacting with your software, the landing page, any of that. Obviously, or hopefully, obviously, you're not going to penalize those people because, for the most part, probably statistically, those are probably your most real consumers. I don't know, maybe it's actually just bots who are fucking with their caches and history and stuff, but you don't want to create a system that is going to alienate or punish people who have not been overly fascinated on what is going on with your webpage. So, my gut says, just looking at this, you probably do want to have your cookies in cache semi-cleared, or I guess maybe this is probably showing my lack of technical skill. I don't know if your cookies and stuff and cookies and cache from other websites, which I don't think it does because I think they're supposed to be website specific. But I'm not sure if some of these more advanced softwares take a look at your accumulated cookies to try and verify how real of a user you are. That seems to me like it would be a really effective way to figure out if someone's a bot or not. Look at, do they have cookies from a bunch of other normal-ish websites? If they do, I would think that's probably a real person, because unless you're, someone who's hiding something or super concerned with your security, I'm not sure why you would have a clear cookie and clear cache every time you access something. So I'm trying to find that out. Again, I literally emailed Qit just to be like, help a brother out. I'm a normal ass person trying to figure this out. We'll see. The most, I think, convincing strategy I've decided on is kind of the shotgun approach. Try everything. Just be aware of what is going to generate a unique ticket or a unique request versus what is actually just a second version of a request you already have out. So, for example, like we said, if you just fucking keep opening tabs on your browser, that doesn't change anything. It's not going to do anything. If you have a normal browser and an incognito browser or private browser, that is considered, as far as the community can tell, two unique requests. From there, obviously, it magnifies based on your devices, and this is so hypothetically, I do not know if this is true. Hypothetically, on my setup, right? I got a phone, just like a semi-normal iPhone, semi-normal MacBook. I've got, two browsers on each of those. I've got Safari and Chrome. According to what people are saying, in theory, I should be able to get a private Safari, a private Chrome, a public Safari, and a public Chrome on my computer, and then a private Safari, private Chrome, public Safari, public Chrome on my phone for 8 individual requests to the Q system. Does it work that way? I don't think anyone has definitive knowledge of it. Honestly, Qit's probably not a great company if they're making that knowledge super available. Wish they would. We'll see if the email shows up. But part of it, even for me, it's I don't have a really reasonable way to track multiple browser requests on my phone at once. I mean, maybe I could do, Safari and Chrome, maybe get two. But the idea of, I don't know, the idea of having like a public and a private browser for two different browsers on your phone, it just seems, I don't know how you would logistically juggle that. So I'm probably not going to attempt that. I'll maybe try two, a private and a public, and I'll probably, honestly, oh God, no, I talked about this earlier. I'm still like, don't fully understand the using your same account through different devices, how those things interact, I think again, speculation, but I think I'm like hesitant even to say it. I don't know. I would assume you're. God, no. I have no fucking idea. I don't. I'm very confused. Shotgun approach is the best approach. My gut says if you have Chrome on your phone and Chrome on your computer, they are gonna technically still be two different IDs. I saw my own anecdotal version of that today because technically my phone browser, which I didn't do anything fancy on, was slower than the other two that I had on my computer. And if it had been, say, me just opening the same tab on my phone Chrome versus my computer Chrome, I think I would have seen those yellow bars being at the same place, and they were not. I know that for sure. My computer bars were moving faster, which, all that with the fact that I was at about an hour the entire time until they were out of stock. But still, I think those did ring up as unique requests. So I think the devices, even though you're using the same account, will register them as separate. I'll be a little more intentional, I think, next time it happens. So hopefully tomorrow, judging by the landing page, seems... I don't think probable is the word that should be used. Possible. So I think there are like... I don't know. People are going to fucking overhype whatever the fuck they're going to overhype. Because they want people to watch, they want to get people hooked, they want to get people talking. Like, I'm not fucking doing this for money. So I'm just trying to be, like, super real with people, because I feel like, not everyone, but sometimes the community is a little bit... I don't think they're naive, because I think I know what they're doing. But I think they're a little, like, they project a certain level of overconfidence that doesn't, I think, always manifest in the real world. Not of them as individuals, but of people's chances to get stuff. So, like, what I'm thinking in my head is when the BrickSeek thing came out, when all the Walmart in-store units showed up, I was like, oh, shit. Yo, fucking... prayers are answered. It's finally fucking time to get myself a PlayStation 5. Like, we're doing it. Nah. I went on a BrickSeek and, I had 9 stores were listed with limited stock. And I'm like, oh, shit, limited stock. Like, that's got to be something I saw. Twitter said, like, limited stock means something is happening. You go to I'll literally show it to you. Let's see. FAQ BrickSeek. Limited stock. Yeah, so this is what I did. Where is it? Is it not? Well, yeah, here we go. So, what is in stock versus limited stock versus out of stock? The shit that most of these people, when they're like, fucking run inside, follow BrickSeek to your death. The stuff they're not talking about. I mean, literally on their website, it says inventory status of limited stock means that the retailer is reporting an item quantity of 1 on hand. 1. Beyond that, this last remaining unit is often a display model. it might not even be for sale. It's also possible, again, final thing, so I'll throw that caveat in. Occasionally, a retailer may indicate limited stock for high demand items as well. That's possibly what happened there. I can only speak for my situation where I was in my area code. I live in a densely populated area. All 9 of the Walmarts that are near me, so that tells you I have 9 Walmarts within 75 miles of me, so decently populated. Every single one said limited stock. You know, I've kept an eye on BrickSeek. What? I mean, fucking do it. I'm not gonna put in my address. Learning how to live stream. Basically I've been checking it, and I'll see them slowly tick off, but I never saw a store go from limited stock to like in stock or anything like that. And judging by the fact that it seems like the stores themselves were literally not prepared for people to come in and start asking about it. Because I don't think they were, as far as I know, judging by people's experience, they were not prepared. I don't see the retailer having enough foresight to try and indicate it as limited stock on purpose when people are fucking already showing up out of the woodwork being like, hey, I know you got shit back there, pull it out for me. Like, it's just not, I think it's super unlikely. So, that being said, like, yo, if you're fucking desperate and you don't got shit to lose, fuck yeah. Definitely go there. Be nice. Don't be a dick. Make sure you ask for a manager. Ask about it if BrickSeek is showing your shit. So I'll do a BrickSeek with some other area codes that I'm more familiar with that are not my actual area code, but at least area codes that I think will demonstrate what we're doing. So this is basics of what BrickSeek looks like. You know, it is it's basically just a way to compare items that are distributed to multiple retailers and try and figure out when they're in stock and what that stock might be. So we're gonna look for a PlayStation 5. I did this earlier today. For some reason, like, it's very hard just to find the actual UPC of the console. Regardless, we have to go for like fucking 2 or 3 pages here. Okay, so here is the console. So I'm gonna do, oh god, what other area codes do I know? I'll do, let's just random area code US. Right. Sure. When you've been sitting there talking about area codes, not zip codes, random zip codes. Alright. Oh, look, it's the same site. Good shit. Let's do, how about we do, I've literally heard of Knoxville, Tennessee. That seems reasonable, I guess. So let's see what's going on in Knoxville, Tennessee. Okay. Fucking literally not even anything around. I am pretty sure that at this point, honestly, nothing is gonna come up for this stuff. I think if there were any in-store Walmarts that were legitimate, there weren't any near me as far as I know. But I think they're mostly swooped up by now. The community has kind of been on it for about 2 days, so I'd be very surprised if there was stuff still sitting in Walmarts. But again, you know, it's a big world out there. There's a lot of retailers doing a lot of random shit. You know, I don't, especially outside of US, I definitely wouldn't be trying that bullshit. But even within the US, you know, it's a crapshoot for sure. In store is, I think the best strategy is, if you're going in store, assume it's not there, and then be pleasantly surprised if it does end up being there. But yeah, keep an eye on that. So yeah, that's kind of like most of what I've been doing. If you are not a fan of Brickseek, the one that most people prefer, myself included, is Pop Finder, which, if I'm not mistaken, which I don't think I am in this scenario, it look at all the strange things. It's for Funko Pops originally. If you don't know what a Funko Pop is, let's say Funko Pop. They're basically those little giant head bobbleheads that don't have bobbleheads. These things. Which, like, respect. You know what I'm saying? Fucking nerds in every damn community. Doesn't matter what you're doing. There's always a nerd. Could be sports. Could be Funko Pops. Could be PlayStations. Could be home gardening. Who the fuck knows? But there's always somebody who's, like, too into it is not what I'm trying to say. But you know what I mean. There's always someone that's going to be, like, too into it. So we've literally got, I would assume hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people are using this tool, Pop Finder. And it was designed to find Funko Pops. Like, crazy world. So, that's why area code shows up. Yeah, I mean, here, we'll try the area code from earlier. So, like, let's see. Okay, zeros all around. A lot of zeros out there. Got to be ready for that. Mine was always 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. A lot of zeros. So Funko Pop, Pop Finder, is, as far as I understand, the same-ish thing as Brickseek. What I have noticed is that Pop Finder doesn't seem to work with Walmart, which, at least for... I know it technically works with Walmart, but, like, I was literally putting the same stuff into Pop Finder and into Brickseek, and when it came to Walmart specifically, it was only showing up on Brickseek, so I don't know what that's about. But Pop Finder definitely works best for Target and Best Buy, for sure. Like, this is all Targets, and then I think I have the Pop Finder for Best Buy too. I'll use the same area code. So, alas, again, not totally surprising, but that's how people were bagging their stuff in person. Super random, really has more to do with where you live than anything. But if you were curious where all these walk-ins were coming from, with people saying they scored, it is real, it did very much happen. But it was through that system. So we're getting through. I'm gonna take off the screen share display and go back. So thank you if you bear with me. I don't even know if I still have a viewer. I can't see when I'm doing the display. So let's find out if my one viewer is gone. If you are, for the record, even though you won't see this, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. You're the only person who cared about what I had to say, and that's pretty cool. Or if you're watching in the future, hey, thanks for watching. Okay. Oh yeah, that's what we expected, eh? Okay, we're gonna get rid of that now. We're gonna make me a little bit bigger. Oh yeah. Still got one viewer! Again, I'm assuming that's just like somebody who put it on the background and probably didn't watch it all. But still, yep. One person cared what I had to say. Feels good, man. Feels good. We're hitting about an hour, and I'm not gonna go too much more than that because let's be real, most of what I said could have been summed up. So we're gonna do a quick recap of the hour of bullshit that I just spewed, and then we'll put it in the comments in case anyone wants to view this later and just wants the quick recap of what the fuck happened. So what happened Cyber Monday for PlayStation 5? We had Adorama, a retailer that basically doesn't matter, went live in the morning, and people are still unsure if any real human beings got them. So basically, big ol' waste of time. Second, we had Ant Online, which went live about midday. Not a waste of time, a good use of time. However, they only sell in bundles, and they have a small stock. Those are the cons. The pros being they're super communicative and engaged with their customers and the community. And they're, as far as I know, like a lot lower on the list of places that bots are taking advantage of. My understanding also, no, hold on, let me continue the summary. Finally, PlayStation Direct. That was the big one today. That's one we were all super excited about. It very much dropped. Of all the people that bagged PS5s today, I think it's safe to say 90 to 95%, if not more, got them from PlayStation Direct. So PlayStation Direct is where I, as someone who has not gotten a PlayStation 5 yet, will be looking, hopefully, to get theirs. We'll have some other retailers maybe, but PlayStation Direct seems to have the best interface for getting actual people in the store buying the units. I personally entered the queue today. I had about an hour wait the entire time until they were out of stock, and then my time started going down, so it was basically useless. But nonetheless, it was the closest I got to buying one. Looking forward, what matters for PlayStation? So we're going to go through all the retailers really quick. PlayStation Direct, number one thing you want to keep an eye on. We honestly do anticipate, probably a better way to put it, another PlayStation Direct drop this week. Don't know when. We're hoping it'll be tomorrow. No digitals went up for sale today, only the disc version. So there's a lot of speculation that they're going to drop more than once this week. Let's hope so. I think that's going to be your most likely chance to getting a PlayStation 5 if that's what you're after. If that is the way you're doing it, just keep an eye out. We have a little queue for when we think product is going to go live in the near-ish future. It's when you go to the PlayStation Direct landing page for the PlayStation 5, and it locates at the top instead of the bottom. I did it earlier on the stream, kind of showing. So if you look for when the stream switches from me to the kind of the display in the window that I was on, that is an example of when I went through that. So that is relevant because it means people are going to be able to call PlayStation Direct happening with a lot more accuracy than most of the retailers, which I think is important. You can literally look at today. Like we called it. Showtime Pro 4. He's the one to follow on Twitter. First person to discover that little trick of the way the landing page changes depending on essentially whether inventory is going to go live or not. So keep an eye on PlayStation Direct. Hopefully we'll have another drop this week. Continuing through the retailers, the next most likely, kind of, Target's one of the only things we have kind of confirmed information on. So today, Jake Randall, another person that you should follow if you care about getting a PS5, he got some inside scoop that said Target is getting units to their physical stores on the 5th of December. We do not know if these are back-ordered units, if these are units that will go for sale in-store or online, or just for in-store pickup, or who the fuck knows. We do not have clarity on that. So anyone telling you this is happening on 12/5 simply does not know. We're all going off of a single post on Jake Randall's page where, he's got some Target plug who sent them kind of an incognito picture of their scanner and when they expect shit to come in. So 12/5, we're all going to be keeping our eyes on Target. Let's be real, we're going to be keeping our eyes on Target on 12/24 at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is where your boy's going to be. Yeah, so we'll have to see what goes on with Target. Supposedly they're having some other deals and things that are going to happen. There's been a lot of conflicting information there, which again is saying something when that is the second most likely place to get a PlayStation in this upcoming week. That's the best we have. going through our other major retailers, Ant Online, like I mentioned earlier, small inventory, but pretty reliable. If you want a bundle, it's a great place to get it. Go on to Ant Online's Twitter. Ant Online, spelled phonetically like you would think. Um, when it comes to the other big box retailers, there's a couple like random ones like B&H and Adorama and all that kind of shit. It's possible you could get one there. It's unlikely. We're definitely keeping an eye on like Sam's Club and Costco. Those bundles have generally been pretty gettable. The biggest issue with them being when they go online and how to get them. Especially Costco, I don't think we've seen a lot of that. Sam's Club has been a little more active. A decent amount of people have gotten their consoles from them. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that I don't think we understand or know. A big question I personally have is how much of the stock that we as consumers are interacting with is stock that was made in the initial launch. Like, have we literally all just been dealing with, save 2.2 to 2.5 million units this entire time? Because if that's the case, it comes down a lot more to the retailers and the way that they are deciding to let their inventory be seen. If there's a finite amount, then it's up to Target, it's up to Walmart, it's up to Best Buy. They're the ones that are dictating, for the most part, where and when PS5s are hitting the market. But if, obviously PlayStation is making more PlayStations. They would be fucking stupid not to, because it's like people are sitting there being like, please take my $1,000. Crazy, but here we are. I don't think it's reasonable to think that they're not making more PlayStations, but I'm not sure. I'll do my research. I'll update it on the stream tomorrow. I don't think any of the units we're dealing with right now are new units. I think it's all the same 2.2 to 2.5 million. So we're kind of at the retailer's beck and whim until we have confirmation that Sony itself is creating more units that are going more places. So we'll see what happens when the week goes by. We'll see if anything does drop. Keep an eye on PlayStation Direct. Maybe keep an eye out for Target. That's in the 5th? Is that? So today's the 30th. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So the 5th of December is where the rumor mill as far as Target is going for PlayStation 5. So, oh. No, it is not. Wow, someone's talking to me. That's so crazy. Sorry, Mega Dream Pro, you're the first person to interact with me on the stream. It is live. I haven't actually chatted with anyone yet, so I don't even know how to do this. Oh, it's fun. Oh, I'm going to chat back to you. Cool. Wow, hey, thanks, dude. I'm still kind of figuring out how to do all this. Oh, cool. That's great. Yeah, this is my first stream. I've just been watching all the PS5 news from a lot of good people for a lot longer than is probably healthy. But yeah, just trying to share some of the knowledge I've gotten. I feel like there's a lot of people who are independently collecting info. We're doing an okay job, sort of spreading it, but I think everyone has their own flavor. Some people are more optimistic, more pessimistic, whatever it might be. So yeah, I'm just doing my best to try and report what I know. Like I was saying earlier, I think the most likely drops for this upcoming week are PlayStation Direct. Just looking at that landing page, we've just kind of got one of the only sad small little cues that prove that something might be happening as far as stock is considered. So keep an eye on that. And then, past that, like I said, Saturday, supposedly Target is gonna have some form of inventory. Oh, thanks, man. Or woman or person, whoever you might be. Thank you, Mega Dream. It took me a long time to figure out how to do it on the Mac. But yeah, so I'm just kind of hanging out. I'm going to do one of these for about an hour or so every night, just kind of recapping what happened for the day and what to keep an eye on. Hopefully somebody gets some use out of it, but you know, at the end of the day, I'm just a dude out here trying to get a PS5, trying to share the knowledge I have, trying to find something productive to do with quarantine. Thank you, Mega Dream Pro, for talking to me. This is the first time in about an hour sitting here that I've had a two-way communication, which is just very strange. So I'm going to end this stream. I'll jump in your stream. It sounds like your stream as well. You're streaming live, so I'll go in there and try and contribute and hear some of the stuff you have to say. And yeah, whoever, you know, I think it was you, somebody viewed this for a pretty long time, so thank you. Appreciate you listening. You know, I'll be back at it tomorrow. I'm going to try and do it every day. Quick little recap on what happened and what to keep an eye out for. But basically, PlayStation Direct, maybe Target on Saturday. Everything else is unconfirmed, which is not to say it won't happen, it's just to say we don't have any dates that suggest it is or isn't happening at any time. You know, even our most likely place to get a PS5 right now doesn't have a date. We're literally, that's the level we're at. We're looking at the fucking landing page for PlayStation and saying that it's landing on the top instead of the bottom, and that's why we're hyped. It's like, that doesn't tell you how this console launch was like deeply flawed. I don't know what does. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. We got a whole week going, and December's obviously going to be pretty hyphy because people are trying to get that shit for Christmas. I know, you know, my goal, which is not going to happen, but it's my goal. I'd like to get a PlayStation 5 in time for Cyberpunk. So, we'll see. But you got time. We'll do this every night. And anyone who's around, you know, feel free to come kick it. I'm going to try and start at 7:30. 7:30 is going to be the time. 7:30 to 8:30. Create just a place where people can talk. Oh, fuck. Are you talking to me and I just didn't refresh the chat? Oh, I'm an idiot. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still learning how to do the interaction part. Okay. Well, this is going to be the end of the stream. Thanks for watching. I'll be back here tomorrow at 7:30. I'm talking about what did happen or what is going to hopefully happen and all that jazz. So, thanks for watching. I appreciate, you know, Mega Dream Pro. You're the only one with a name right now, so I appreciate you.